What's up? First of all, this is my first statement about myself and my art and just about me as an artist. And it's quite difficult because I don't really do this kind of thing, but it's the first time. So let's start from the beginning. Doing art for about 30 years now, on and off, to be honest, not consistently. But I've always loved art. I've always loved creativity, not just art, but creativity. Because as far as I'm concerned, my philosophy is there is art in every single thing. The cars we drive, the clothes we wear, design is in everything, and design is art. To me, art is life. And my definition of art really is artists and creative people are the ones who document human life, human existence, human energy and spirit and happenings as well. When I studied art back in Jamaica, I studied to be a graphic designer, by the way, and part of it was art history. And when I looked at how back from the cave painting days all the way through to the Renaissance and the disruptive way in which art kind of depicted society and changed perspectives and conversations and so on, from a philosophical level down to an aesthetic level, just blew my mind. And I started out just sketching and drawing. My stepfather loved what I was doing, saw the potential in terms of what I could achieve, but I didn't see it because growing up in Jamaica, I wasn't really exposed. All you could see as artists really were poor artists who did a few paintings here or a few drawings there, and they were really into their zone of creativity, and you have to follow the movement of the line and I didn't see all of that. All I saw things, I wanted to represent it. I was fascinated and drawn to seeing how people translate an image that they see through their body into their hands and then onto whatever substrate that they did, whether it be sculpture, painting, whatever. So, loved it from an early age. My father tried to encourage me, tried to make me realize that there's a lot more out there. But that all changed. My perspective changed when I went to do my 4-year studies in art. I ended up being a graphic designer for about 15 years. Got very disillusioned with that because it just felt like I'm just trying to convince people to buy stuff by creating something. Once you've done that, created a campaign or whatever, it just goes by the wayside next. Your artwork lives on. Advertising campaigns die off and disappear, become dated. If you do a piece of work that's from your heart and it's reflective and the person who bought it appreciates it, it lives on forever. So it felt like that was the right direction to take. So I was fairly successful in Jamaica doing my work. I started out with mainly black and white illustrations. I'm gonna insert some bits of the work that I did, and you can see where I'm coming from. But I started out just doing black and white illustrations, and I loved it. It was simple, it was straightforward, just dealing with tones, and that's it. And then I'm more focused on Indian ink on archival paper, but textured paper, so it gave it more depth and that sort of thing. So I got better and better at that. My pieces went very well. Started selling to the different art stores and so on in and around Kingston at the time. And then eventually I got someone who did my marketing for me, and she was very, very good. She was very convincing. She started to get into the upper echelons of Jamaican society, where you had lawyers and doctors and so on who were collectors. They loved my work as well, and I was like, okay, cool. This seems like it's a nice side hustle, as they would say nowadays, side hustle. And it blew up to the point where even the Prime Minister, PJ Patterson at the time, took an interest in one of my pieces, and I was elated. I was like, wow, recognition. But with recognition also came a bit of stress and pressure because my commissions got more and more popular. And as a result, the person who's dealing with sales for me basically said, look, we need to put the prices up. And as she put the prices up, it still came in, more and more offers came in, until I don't know if it's an artist block, you'd call it, but I got to the point where I just couldn't deal with it anymore. It became more of a job than having fun doing what I was doing. So I decided, this is it. I'm not going to do this anymore. She wasn't happy about it, obviously, because that, we're creating a business and we're developing, we're growing, it's getting more popular, but it was killing my passion for something I really loved, So I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. I stepped away from it for a while, left and came overseas because I wanted to do my master's in London. I started to study at Metropolitan University, doing media studies and special effects and so on. A bit disillusioned with that as well, and kind of potted around for a bit, still doing graphic design, working for the Gleaner here in the UK. But I tell you what, I'm gonna fast forward and jump straight to what catapulted me back into the art world and the art scene during lockdown. And I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this, where in lockdown you made some really deep discoveries because you have time with yourself and you start to explore your passions, and the everyday issues of life kind of stepped to the background because you're not getting up to go to work, you're not rushing and running and grabbing and pushing, trying to meet other people's expectations. You do more of a retrospective kind of situation. So I got more into DIYing, which I absolutely loved. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go back into my art and just take it easy this time, not with any expectations, just really honing in on what I love and just focusing on that and working on that. Yeah. So I said, okay, cool, I'm gonna do that. Started working on that. Surprise, surprise, I found myself loving abstract. Now, back in the day, to me, abstract was a joke. I mean, yes, I studied art history, and you look at Picasso, which is semi-abstract, but more expressionist. You look at all the different greats and so on who kind of broke the mold and did their own thing and put energy into stuff. But then I saw stuff like where you have like one line on a blank canvas, and I'm like, what is that? Anyway, discovered that I really loved abstract, but more semi-abstract. So putting more energy into a painting or a drawing instead of just regurgitation of what I see. Right? It's more of an amalgamation of how I feel and what I see and what happens with the substrate or with the materials that you're working with. So really love that, and that took off for me personally, and I started enjoying it. I realized people started to like what I did. I'm like, okay, I like what I do. You want to pay me for it? That's fine. And it just got better and better, and I just got more and more excited. I did more explorations. I started to look at different artists who did semi-abstraction, and it just blew my mind, how trends have changed and what's happening, how you can use color for energy. Because you look at a drawing or a painting that's representational, you walk past it, it's the same thing. Unless there's deeper meaning in it, it's the same thing every day. You look at a semi-abstract piece or an abstract piece, you discover new layers, you discover different perspectives, what the artist was trying to say or what the artist was not trying to say, what you've seen in the piece. And it just becomes this conversation piece. For example, when you have guests coming around and they're looking at the piece, they have their own complete interpretation, their own feeling. It's more about feeling than anything else. And that's why I decided to sit down and have this conversation and just basically talk about me, talk about what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to build. I'm excited. I'm really excited. And art has done so much for me in terms of my conscious well-being, my spiritual well-being, making me feel as if I'm a complete person. Because a lot of times you don't know what you really want to do, but I feel so excited when I pick up a paintbrush. Just do what you feel like doing. Wrong, right, doesn't matter. Just get it done, right? Did that, and now I'm at the point where I am actually working on a piece of Martin Luther King. Now, I had quite a few commissions from a client of mine in the United States, in Augusta, Georgia to be exact. And it's been really, really good. I've been going back and forth there simply because the pieces are so big. I'm working on really large paintings, so I have to kind of get that done and get them folded, to take them there, re-stretch them and mount them on the wall. And it's worked out very well. I mean, my recognition has grown, my client base has grown as well. I have clients in Florida, back in Jamaica, my home country. I have quite a few clients there as well, and it's ongoing. It's just amazing. I have a full-time job still, but this is now putting me in a different direction where I know what I want to do when I get to a certain point in life. I want to just focus on that. First step was to have a space, which is here. I'll give you a tour of the cabin / art studio. another time, but this is just an intro. Don't want to make it too long. I think it's gone over too much. I'm rambling on, but you get an idea of me, Michael Green, the artist, trying to, get himself to a point where he's comfortable with his work, and it is, giving me a standard of living where I can actually just do that only. I have my art studio here. I want to do an art studio in Jamaica as well. So at some point in life or in time, I can, be there doing paintings. You can watch me paint there as well with nice, beautiful scenery. Everybody loves Jamaica. I love Jamaica. Jamaica's my home. It's my heart. But the variety of being here in the UK and my discoveries and my growth and my development, I'll put some of my paintings that I've done on here for you. It's difficult because everybody's on YouTube. So yeah, this is my attempt at trying to get into that sort of scenario where YouTube becomes like a documentation of what I do, how I grow, what I like, what I don't like, my style and my successes and my failures, but also a source of income as well to help me as an artist. I don't want to be a starving artist. That's a typical thing. I don't want to get to that. So hopefully you guys can help me get to 1,000 subscribers. I really would appreciate that, and I promise you I'm going to try and be as consistent as possible. You can even be I'll have videos where I am painting and you're in the background just watching me paint, live stream, stuff like that. But this is an intro, this is a start, this is a beginning. It's 2024, new start, new beginnings, intro to my channel, Michael Green Modern Art. I'll keep you updated. We'll have little chats like this every now and then, but most of it's going to be not me saying anything, just doing my work, and you observe what I'm doing and go from there. All right, peace. Thank you.